Hey, welcome back into today's video. You're not gonna believe this. There's this TikToker named Lauren the Mortician, along with her seemingly unhinged TikTok lawyer named Janet, have been allegedly weaponizing the legal system to silence creators about the things that they've been doing to them. And if these alleged things are true, things like wasting police resources by calling in what looks like coordinated false wellness checks, attempting to bully creators with wild cease and desist, and much more. It's completely insane. And now these things have crossed over into YouTube with a federal lawsuit. But why go to such a length to keep the truth from being known? Likely the potentially harmful misinformation affecting your children. You need to see this. First video of the year, and it's pretty crazy. In today's episode of Exploring TikTokers, what in God's name is wrong with these TikTokers? If you're unfamiliar with this situation, we're first going to talk about Lauren the Mortician, who has a TikTok with over 2.6 million followers and 71 million likes. She's grown a following talking about her profession being a mortician. What she does in her videos is explain how people came to be under her care. A mortician is a person whose job is to prepare dead people to be buried and to arrange and manage funerals, otherwise known as an undertaker. She had a viral video about what parents should avoid to keep their children safe, which is a very commendable thing given the unique perspective that she would have being a mortician and the things that she would see. So obviously this did pretty well on her channel, and she did similar videos like this. Her followers started tagging her in other creators' videos, to which she would then make commentary criticizing the individual in the video. And I would like to preface this video by saying that criticism is completely fine. Lauren does it, I do it, you do it, we all do it. In fact, Aristotle himself said there's only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. So criticism is completely okay. We all give it and we all receive it. It's completely normal. Unless you have some type of intense double standard of hypocrisy. And that's what it seems like we're seeing from Lauren the Mortician. So to understand the situation, you need to know what started it. And before I get into the details of what happened, I need to say that everything in this video is alleged. There's a lawyer that's going around slapping everybody with lawsuits, and I'm pretty sure this video will be one of the most comprehensive pieces of work showing you exactly what was alleged to have happened. So there was this situation to do with another TikToker named Jamie Grayson, who is a CPST, which, if you don't know, is a child passenger safety technician that educate parents and caregivers on how to properly use car seats. CPST technicians provide personalized instructions about how to properly install a car seat in a vehicle, as well as how to properly secure your child in the car seat. So this is a man who is literally a car seat expert, and he saw that Lauren had posted a video about a car seat, and he had some pretty tame criticisms. In reply to a user saying, "Lauren the Mortician, if she says no, I agree, especially since she is the one who is scarred from getting the bodies after accidents."
Okay, I want to address this, and this is in no way a hate Lauren the Mortician post. I follow her, we follow each other, we are mutuals. I like her content. What is not okay is I'm getting tagged all over the place on her account about car seats. I am a CPST. I was first certified as a child passenger safety technician about 10 years ago, and I am now dual certified as a CPST in America and Canada. Okay, Lauren now is not a CPST. She's found out today she's going to go through the class. Great. We need more. We need more. She's intelligent. We need more people who care about this. But right now, her opinion on car seats and what dictates if a seat is safe or not, along with anyone else, if you do not work in this space, it does not matter. That's full stop. That's it. There's all car seats that are legal and regulated that are on the market are safe when used correctly. Okay, so these videos about the revolving seats not being safe, no, they're fine. They're fine when they're used correctly. We're all very, sorry, my AirPods keep falling out. I've been on the phone for 3.5 hours. I don't know how to say anything but this. If you do not work in car seat safety, if you are not a manufacturer, if you do not have the CPST certification, your opinion on if a car seat is safe or not has no merit. We also have no way to test them for safety. We don't have labs. We don't have sleds. We go by the base assumption that car seats available for purchase on the American market get a pass-fail. That's what they get. Same in Canada. You get a pass or a fail. So car seats save lives when they are used correctly. So I can't. Like, she's going to be a great tech. Wonderful. Again, we need more. But right now, anyone giving their opinion about car seats when they don't have the training and the credentials, that's like me giving you hair and makeup tips. I'm not an esthetician. I certainly would not.
So this was very matter-of-factly. I don't even know if I would call this a criticism, as much as a professional providing correct information. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And before we get into Lauren's very not normal response to Jamie, you need to know this was only one part of how this whole thing started. There were multiple other healthcare professionals that were calling Lauren out, including doctors. As you can see, the pediatrician stitched with one of Lauren's videos. It's important to note this is the same thing that Lauren does to other people. The doctor says, "I've been sitting on this for a while, and my moral compass can't take it anymore. I'm going to assume or hope the intent was good here, but we all have come full circle. Where someone who is trying to prevent mortality is participating in activities that can lead to other kids being harmed. There are experts in every field. If you have a question, please ask them." Another doctor in the comments says, "I totally agree. The sentiment is there, but child safety expert doesn't fall within the mortician profession's wheelhouse." And again, this was said very matter-of-factly. And then you can see people saying that they've already started unfollowing her. I followed her for a bit, and then she went crazy with the whole Beetlejuice stuff, got excessive, and I unfollowed. Her loss of followers is her own doing, no one else's. Another user saying, "I followed her before I followed Jamie, but then she started the whole fiasco in August, and that's the minute I unfollowed her. I watched the way that she acted and behaved about him, and I was done." So you can see that people were already tired of Lauren before the Jamie stuff when she started doing the Beetlejuice bit, where users would comment Beetlejuice 3 times on what they wanted her to criticize. She would then appear to provide criticism, and most of this was about child safety, which again doesn't fall within the mortician profession's wheelhouse. On the Dumb Blonde podcast, her defense for people calling her out for getting information wrong was that she never said that she was an expert, which is a terrible defense, I'm just saying.
I've never said that I'm an expert on child safety or anything, but that's what they like to say is they're like, "Oh, you can't be a child safety expert." And I'm like, does anybody have a piece of paper that says, "I am now certified to talk to you about child safety"? Yeah. No, everybody just kind of specializes in certain things. And I'm very particular to say, I'm not an expert. I'm just an opinionated as fuck mother.
There's actually a couple things here. Number one being, yes, there 100% is people certified to talk about child safety. First, let's talk about the pediatricians calling you out who actually hold medical degrees and are actually trained to handle the health and safety of children. And when you're posting videos about science that have hashtags, educational purposes, and child safety, it makes sense why you have healthcare professionals reacting the way that they are. And I really feel like they're coming at you in a very matter-of-factly way, like this one. She says, "Appreciate the sentiment and willingness to educate, but respectfully, science already exists outside of influencers. For everyone, please get your information from trusted, evidence-based experts in the respective field. This is a dangerous and slippery slope, and I'm worried it will result in blind trust and people's kids will end up hurt. I'm a pediatrician, and even I wouldn't do this." And Lauren, when you post stuff like this, you're putting yourself under the lens that goes beyond the scope of an opinionated mother. A lot of what you're saying, and I mean this very matter-of-factly, is ignorant. So your reaction to pediatricians calling you out on medical misinformation is not good.
I was going to let this go, but
Pediatrician bullying moms online. So because I decide to have a routine for my kids after they get poked to make them more comfortable at home, that all of a sudden makes me anti something.
So I think we have different definitions of bullying, but you have a very large platform and people listen to you. The thing I noticed is in your video, you don't ever actually say the word vaccine. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a TikTok algorithm thing.
A degree in science, so I know about vaccines. And in order to be a mortician, I had to get special ones just in case I poke myself with a needle.
I mean, I have a degree in science too. We don't need to make this a pissing contest, do we, on education? Because I'd probably win. And that's not the point. The point is that if you are pro-science, then you would understand that natural remedies that are not evidence-based are also problematic and should not be recommended for children. Now,
there was another creator who looked into one of the natural remedies that Lauren was promoting.
Wanted to add on to this conversation just because whenever I saw that Lauren the Mortician was pushing a detox bath, I was really curious because typically People that are in the detoxing community are also anti-vaccine, and people that are typically anti-vaccine are also under the impression that vaccines cause autism. And so I went on to the website of the product that Lauren the Mortician was recommending to see what they said about vaccines. Then I clicked around some more and found that they have a vaccine info page on their website. And again, it states that aluminum and some vaccines are tied to neurological damage, autism, learning disabilities, and more, which there's been no actual scientific evidence of. And so if you were thinking of buying this product because it was in Lauren the Mortician's video, just make sure to be informed and read about the company you're buying it from.
So this product's website seems a little sketchy in promoting misinformation within itself. But then when you look into the company, one doctor said in the comments, this company has received FDA warning. And I looked this up to make sure if it was true. And it turns out, yes, this company did receive a warning letter. It's important that you do your own research to protect your own family, but don't start pushing things to others without looking into them. The pediatrician continues saying,
I'm not going to dog you on doing what you're doing for your own children, because I don't know you personally, I don't know your situation, and you probably have a pediatrician that you're having these types of discussion with. However, I do have a problem when you go online and you tell people that this is what you do for your kids and that this is how they can buy it, when I clearly outlined in my video that that's dangerous. And other things that you've said are dangerous too. So I'm coming at you here, not from an accusatory standpoint, just from an educational standpoint. And then you're kind of jumping back at me and accusing me of being a bully. So that kind of does prove the fact that you're not open to experts coming at you when your information is wrong.
And this is obviously true because she's been known to block. In all of my research, and it's a lot, none of the professionals have been bullying you. They're trying to correct harmful misinformation to which you block them after attacking them.
When someone spreads misinformation and attempts to deflect criticism or accountability by providing excuses or alternative reasoning, it is often referred to as gaslighting. Gaslighting involves manipulating or distorting information to make others doubt their own perception or understanding of reality. In the context of spreading misinformation, it can involve denying facts, shifting blame, or using deceptive tactics to avoid acknowledging the falsehoods being spread.
I consistently say that I am an opinionated mother, and I just want to share tips on how to keep people alive and what I do with my own kids. This is just so sad at this point.
I'm a pediatrician with a vibrant personality. I got a lot to say. But if you say something that's wrong with a huge platform and that could harm people, it's okay for someone with credentials to come out and go, actually, that was wrong. Like, that's even happened to me before, and I just go ahead and correct the thing that I said that I was wrong, because I also care about the safety and well-being of children and families and parents, and I want to do well by them. I don't want anyone to go, I listened to one of your videos, I did what you said, and my child was harmed. And I would guess, as a mortician who's probably seen a thing or two, you agree with me. So here's the conclusion. You are a mother with an opinion. I'm a pediatrician with education and an opinion as well.
The main issue that Lauren has is she's positioning herself with authority, saying she believes in science, positioning as a child safety advocate, and claiming educational purposes, while at the same time promoting potentially harmful vaccine detox potions, standing against science. The misinformation and hypocrisy is staggering.
A lot of what you've done has not sat well with me, which is why I'm addressing you one-on-one now, whereas I've just sat by kind of on the sidelines up until now. When I see people talking about supplements for children, I speak up. If I see someone making a recommendation for someone to sew a child's pajama pants together, I'll speak up. When I see someone that says stuff that could potentially harm kids, especially someone with a huge platform, and I see the videos just kind of get more and more traction, I speak up. Try to do this respectfully. If there's a way that you wanted me to do it more respectfully, please let me know. And I'm totally serious about that.
But the potentially harmful misinformation that was being promoted by Lauren didn't stop with just not listening to medical professionals. She would position herself in these situations in multiple ways. She was even called out by somebody who was said to be a mortician herself.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and we talk about death and dying on my channel. And a lot of you are asking me about the clothing.
Oh, hey, Lauren. I'm actually a licensed funeral director and embalmer, and I am currently practicing in funeral directing and embalming. Unlike yourself, you can talk about death and dying, which is super cool, but you should not, just like I should not, be presenting myself as any sort of expert on what happens to a body 4,000 feet below the surface. 4,000 feet below the surface in an experimental carbon fiber submarine. Nobody has really died like this before. Why are you suddenly an expert? I hate people exploiting my industry and the care that I provide to families for likes and views.
Another weird promotion that she pushed on her channel was a product that helped prevent water from splashing over the side of the tub when your child was taking a bath.
Hello, fellow mortals, and welcome to another episode of The Morbid Minute. Today we are testing and reviewing the Splash Zen.
So as you can see, it says hashtag educational purposes, the Splash Zen, and it also has code Lauren, so it's a product. This is important for later. She did an experiment involving science where she used an Annabelle doll to demonstrate how easily you could get your child out of the tub if there was an emergency.
Go. Got it. How fast was that?
1.45.
Oh my god, was that the same as the first time when I went up and over? Okay, let's try it again, just for science.
Go.
Conclusion, Lauren does not hate everything. I actually think this is pretty handy. Your response time is not affected by the Splash Zen to your child.
So she doesn't hate everything, especially the things that she's got a code for and is making money off of. Okay. Firstly, this experiment is obviously not correct. She uses a doll and not a real human being, and she also doesn't take into account the adrenaline that would overcome your body in an emergency situation, as one child safety advocate points out.
Sitting on your toilet and all of a sudden your child fell over and began to drown. You wouldn't have the same, okay, in this countdown, I'm going to be doing these movements. You're going to see it, your brain is going to freak, and you're going to, we don't know. We don't know if you're going to try and tear it down in panic. We don't know if you're going to try to put your arm straight through it because your brain just goes, bah! The point isn't that it would take more time in a race to see how quickly you could get to your kid. The point is that when seconds are of the essence, your brain is not going to compute this like different information in front of you the same way it would if it wasn't there. Think of it this way. If you had like one of those big, like it's like the thing that you sleep in the airport where it wraps around and it velcros. If you wrapped one of those once around a seatbelt and someone said, well, you shouldn't do that because if your car falls into the river, you need to get your seatbelt off really quickly, or if your car goes on fire, you need to get, and you were to say, no, watch, it takes less than a second to just undo the velcro and then hit the switch. If we timed you and went 1, 2, 3, go, and showed that you could rip the velcro off and push down on the switch, we might be led to believe that in an actual emergency, your brain is going to compute things that quickly. But what we know is that in an emergency, in a fight or flight situation, you're going to look down at that and it is going to just be different information than your brain is expecting, even if you know that it's there. And it absolutely has the potential to add seconds to your process of going, and pulling it off and trying to compute something in quick enough time to get your seatbelt off.
Now, again, I want your guys' opinion on this. Did any of these child safety advocates or medical professionals come off as overly critical and mean and like they were lashing out, or was it very matter-of-factly? Let me know in the comment section below. It really seems like Lauren takes any form of correction or criticism as hate and bullying. She even says as much in the Dumb Blonde podcast.
You somehow became this child, like, I don't want to say just child, but like, what is it like you do? Like the, everybody wants like reviews from you on certain things.
That's so wild that that's happened too, but yeah. So I went viral for a list of things that I would never do because I want to live.
Well, like I've seen a few hater comments where people are like, you're not a real, whatever they want to call it, a reviewer, or you're not licensed to do this. And it's like a woman that has grown up around death her entire life, who has seen what people have died from, who has done coroner calls. Like, I think you're pretty certified.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, all the hate I've been getting lately.
Oh, it's because you're getting more popular. Yeah.
Did you hear that? Child safety advocate and somebody who's created a safe space where people feel like they can trust. But she didn't say child safety advocate. She stopped after she said child.
You somehow became this child, like, I don't want to say just child, but like, what is it like you do? Like the...
And then she didn't explain the viral video that put her on the map, being a video about what not to give children.
a woman that has grown up around death her entire life, who has seen what people have died from, who has done coroner calls, like, I think you're pretty certified.
Yeah.
So there's some really bad logic here, and it points to the overall reason why everybody's taking issue with Lauren. No, at the time, you had not been certified in anything to do with child safety, which really wouldn't even have been an issue if you had not been pushing things that could potentially harm a child. It's insane to me based on this context that you feel like you are. And I'm not hating on you when I say that. When professionals reach out to you and try to help, don't attack and block them. Have some humility, please. To give you a further understanding of the level of delusion that's going on here, she compares herself posting to millions of people to random people in a Facebook chat group posting. It's weird.
What's the difference between what you're doing and the mom groups that they have on Facebook?
Those are so toxic.
Literally.
I've never thought about that before.
Not saying that you're toxic. I'm just saying those moms go in there and they post pictures. Not that I know, I've never been in one, but I'm assuming they post pictures of like, hey, this is what my child did and this is what I've learned from this. And like, you know, so it's like you're posting your experiences just like these women are.
Yeah.
But you're getting crucified for it because you're on a bigger platform.
Mm-hmm.
So suck
I've
that,
seen moms in mom
haters.
groups.
I really do feel stupid for having to explain the difference, but it's a fallacy called false equivalence. Responsibility and accountability. See, in a Facebook group, your advice and information is shared within a specific community, and your accountability is primary to the group members. And when posting a video to millions of people, there's a higher level of responsibility due to the increased size of the audience and the diversity. Therefore, misinformation and inappropriate advice could have more significant consequences and requires careful consideration. Also, listen to this incredible logic.
Oh my gosh, all the hate I've been getting lately.
Oh, it's because you're getting more popular. Yeah.
And while it's true you get more hate the more followers you get, that's because there's an increase in both loving and hateful followers. But that's not a metric to value whether if you're doing good or not, because the bigger the following, the bigger the lens on your actions. I've seen creators be canceled with under 50,000 followers and others slip through the cracks into the millions before their actions caught up to them. So the true metric that you want to use to value whether you're doing good or not on this platform is how you treat others, as you're becoming painfully aware of. Now that you've been properly informed on why everybody's having some sort of problem with Lauren, it's time to talk about the absolute insanity that is her and her lawyer. We're going to pick it back up with Jamie, the certified CPST that criticized her car seat review. I think that we can all agree that his criticisms of her was pretty tame, but her reaction to that was anything but. Lauren decided to make a post on her Facebook saying, "Honest question, would you take baby product advice from a man who has no children, has 12 to 15 strollers inside their living room, also attempts to give baby wearing, baby carrier product recommendation, car seat requests and high chair recommendations to actual mothers? You know, just wondering, hypothetically and all." So here it's pretty obvious that Lauren is insinuating that Jamie is some type of P word because he's a man whose profession is in childcare. This is an illogical fallacy called poisoning the well. It's where adverse information about a target is preemptively presented to an audience with the intention of discrediting or ridiculing something that the target person is about to say. What she said not only lacks logical support, but it can be harmful, perpetuating unfounded stereotypes that can potentially ruin the individual's reputation. It's important to rely on evidence and avoid making baseless claims, but that's something Lauren can't seem to do. She goes on to say, "Cause I sure as F wouldn't, especially when they link these products conveniently in their bio for you to purchase so they make commissions and gain financially from that, never having used the product with a physical baby on a day-to-day basis. Nah, me neither. Just checking." This is really hypocritical for her to say because just earlier I showed you that she was linking products in her description to make money off of those for a profit. That was just 7 that I found in the last month. So why is it okay for you to make money and put codes in your bio, but not Jamie?
This situation is often described as hypocrisy. Hypocrisy occurs when someone criticizes or condemns another person for a behavior or action while engaging in the same or similar behavior themselves. It involves a lack of consistency between one's stated beliefs or values and their actual action. The term is commonly used to point out the contradiction between what someone says and what they do, highlighting a perceived double standard.
I love ChatGPT. And as it turns out, the gender ratio for a CPST is pretty balanced according to Grok on X, saying a rough estimate of the gender ratio among child passenger safety technicians is approximately 50-50, with both men and women actively involved in the field. This is based off the available information and photos from X posts, which show an equal representation of both genders. This isn't exactly a scholarly article or anything, but I'd wager to say that Jamie is not the only male in this field, and I'd wager to say he's not the only male in the overall child care, child safety area. So Lauren's comments would apply to every male in the field of child care, being doctors and other healthcare professionals, which is discrimination based on gender. So this was a big uh-oh, and at this point all eyes were on Lauren, and would you even guess it, that more alleged discrimination was discovered. People started to question if Lauren was a bigot. Another TikTok creator named Caffeinated Kitty posted her findings on TikTok.
And you should just go ahead and take a seat. People noticed that she was on her Instagram following a bunch of red-adjacent folk, but in particular one that basically is a gay man's Tucker Carlson. And not only was she following him, but she was actively liking incredibly transphobic and hateful rhetoric and content. So, as you can see here, I decided to make a fun and helpful little list of all of the different videos I caught her liking. So as you can see, it's interactive.
Which one of you's from?
You touch her name, goes to her page. That's definitely her. And you got all these examples. But she just said she was bisexual herself, and of course she supports LGBTQ and women's rights. Yes, very interesting wording in that little acknowledgement of the rumors video. One, not acknowledging the actual question being asked, which was what she found so likable about incredibly transphobic content. But two, trying to divert the attention by saying she is just pro-LGBTQ and bisexual, as if that is some kind of hall pass that prevents her from being prejudiced to other subgenres of the rainbow.
See, following somebody is understandable. It doesn't necessarily mean that you support them. But liking content is a little bit different. It usually means that, well, you like their content. But her excuse for why she was liking it didn't really make any sense.
And this all began over a campaign to get me canceled over some dumb shit that I liked on Instagram. I'm not a TERF. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. I am none of those things. I follow left and right creators. I can even like something if I don't agree with it. And I mean, shit, if you're a mutual with me, I've probably liked your content because I saw your face, I like you, wanted to support you, didn't watch your video, didn't read it. Sorry, when I'm doom scrolling, I'm doom scrolling.
I've already laid it out in this video exactly why this hate campaign started. It's not a hate campaign, it's a legitimate criticisms on her actions. That's a straight up lie to you, her viewers. And doom scrolling, it was her excuse for liking that type of content? You mean that you want your viewers to believe that when you like something, it doesn't mean that you like it. You're just being supportive of your mutuals, which means not the content being said, just the people behind the content. I think you're lying, and here's why. Here you're liking a random user comment saying, can't people have an opinion? If I don't agree with a lifestyle, no one is going to force me to agree with it. See, my point's not that you're liking these things, it's that you're being dishonest and ungenuine.
As she stated, she wants to live her truth and speak her truth. So I'm trying to get her to just go ahead and speak that truth, because conveniently blocking and covering up and filtering out comments that are asking keywords regarding this particular issue is not living your truth, girly pop. If her beliefs are her beliefs, she should be allowed to express them. But clearly she's afraid to, because she knows the vast majority of her audience that she's desperate to get the validation of at all times will not appreciate it. That's why she's blocking everyone who asks about it, or otherwise filtering and deleting those comments. If you are guiltless, then you should not be afraid of the question.
And they're asking some great questions to which you're just deflecting attention away from them. Those great questions like, why are you liking such discriminatory and hateful content? Your response isn't in reply to this.
There's also a lot of questions going around on if I support the LGBTQ community. I will always support the LGBTQ community, and I will always support women's rights. If you haven't picked up on that about me yet, then you must be rather new here. Life is way too short to be hateful towards anybody, no matter their orientation or what they want to be or who they want to love. And I have never said, let's hate on someone because they are gay. because I myself am bisexual.
The question is, why are you liking hateful and discriminatory content? It's not what your orientation is. You can be bi and still be hateful towards other orientations. Again, my point here is that you're appearing to be dishonest. And I know this really great quote. I think you're going to like it. It applies here.
Sometimes when we come across videos, we have to think about what their motives are.
And at the same time that this situation is going on, a literal random fan emailed her and asked her, well, why are you liking such hateful and discriminatory content? And for some reason, Lauren did the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. This also brings in another creator named Becca, because Becca gave this random fan her platform to speak out about what Lauren was saying to her. Let's hear Lauren's version first.
I have not attacked any smaller creators. I was sent an email that told me that if I did not own up to being transphobic, more defamatory content was going to be made about me to continue this hate campaign, to purposefully hurt my reputation. And I can tell you right now that this person was not a fan of mine. Nowhere in that email did I ever get the understanding that they even liked me. Immediately sent this email to Jeanette, my lawyer. She replied to their email. She sent them a cease and desist, all in hopes that this person would hire a lawyer and it would be settled and I wouldn't have to do a thing about it.
I want to put this in perspective for the viewer. The ridiculous thing about this is, and as a creator myself, I get hundreds of emails a day. And a lot of those emails are scammers and weirdos that I ignore. I think it comes with the territory of being an online public figure, because I've been told to unalive myself, I've been doxxed, I've been stalked, I've been harassed. I mean, it's unfortunate, but these are the things that happen. At some point, you just filter your emails and you stop paying attention to stuff like that, because it's pretty easy to tell which is BS and which is business. Lauren actually got her lawyer on a random person's email in her inbox. And then that person freaked out, didn't know what to do, reached out to Becca, and then Becca gave this person her platform.
She emailed her public email and asked if the rumors going on were actually true. This was a follower of Lauren, someone who really liked her content. She wanted to go straight to the source and figure out what was really going on. I've read through this creator's initial email, and there was absolutely nothing that was threatening, that could be seen as defamation, nothing at all. There was nothing problematic in it. It was just very clearly a fan who liked Lauren asking for clarification if the rumors were true. It was not written aggressively. There was no threats of any kind. It was just seemed like a very genuine email. In response to that email sent to Lauren's public email, she received this cease and desist. And in this cease and desist, not only did it list this creator, but it also listed this creator's mother. But the email that Lauren's attorney sent this to was not actually this creator's mother. So now some random third party has a ton of private information.
There's a lot to unpack there. One is this lawyer, whose name is Janet. And this being a lawyer probably has an efficient way to get private information on individuals. But also they dox this person's information to a random person, which sounds a lot like weaponization of legal resources. And why are we sending information to these full-grown adults' mothers? It really shows like you're trying to intimidate these people by showing them how easy you can find their family members.
She never made a video about Lauren, ever. The only correspondence was her sending this email, this singular email, to Lauren's public email. Because of that, this creator and her mother were threatened with a civil and criminal lawsuit. Were accused of blackmail, extortion, coercion, harassment, defamation, and violating Lauren's constitutional rights. This attorney demanded that this creator make a public apology to Lauren within 72 hours of receiving that cease and desist. This attorney told this creator that she would be watching every single one of her public profiles for a public apology. The creator never made a video about Lauren. Why would she need to make a public apology? This creator was then threatened that if she did not make a public apology to Lauren, she could face 2 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 for not complying. And I have confirmed this is a real attorney. This is a real...
I don't know how that's a real attorney. Do you guys understand how much of an overreaction this is and how insecure you would have to be in order to get your lawyer to go after a random emailer?
Lauren's attorney also attached several addresses that this creator has lived at in the past. I don't know why she felt the need to do that other than to intimidate her. This creator is now aware that this attorney does not have a case on them and they didn't do anything wrong. But at the time when they first received this, they expressed to me that receiving this put them in a very dark place. There's no reason this creator should have ever received this cease and desist in the first place. A cease and desist for asking a creator that you once admired if the rumors about them were true. Be so for real. Like, come on.
So at the same time that this is going on, Lauren and her attorney is striking down videos, jeopardizing creators' channels. Anybody that talked about what was going on. It's crazy. Remember Jamie? His channel was one of the first to go. They were false striking on every platform, any video that was showing what they were doing. I'm actually not sure how many people have been false striked or lost their channels even. I heard it was about 100 from a lawyer on YouTube, the Mad Catster, and that's pretty much tyranny. Most of the videos talking about the situations and details of what's been happening are being taken down, so it's been complicated to make this video. I would find a video that would be relevant, and before I could download it or incorporate it into any form of saving it, it would be deleted within like an hour. But I am able to show you Becca reading the email from the random viewer. I want you to listen to Becca read this email. And just much like everything else I've shown you in this video, you can see how tame this email was. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments below if you agree with me that there was no way somebody should react the way that Lauren and her lawyer did.
And just for the record, it is a publicly listed email. They are within their right to send an email sharing their feelings and their opinions. It's not a very long email, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys so that everyone can be on the same page and have full clarity of the situation. Good morning, Lauren. I'm reaching out to you to see if you have any further comments on being caught interacting with extremist right content and hateful anti-trans posts as well. I have several people reaching out to me stating they have been blocked just for simply asking for an explanation. With a big platform, it is your duty to lead with an honest approach, and many people feel like that isn't what's happening. If you have those beliefs, that is shameful, but you do you. However, backing something you don't believe in is very harmful for so many. Conservative Anthony is known to hate the gay community. He condemns the community for many reasons. If that is truly what you want to back and believe in, you need to be honest and upfront. People make mistakes, but only guilty people will try to hide and dodge the real questions. Silencing people is a horrific thing to do. I'm giving you the opportunity to clear the slate before more deep dives are released with even more proof of these issues. I just want to share really quick that this person has never posted about Lauren. She's never posted deep dives. She's never posted any commentary. She's never posted anything publicly about Lauren ever. This was her just stating the inevitable fact that if she doesn't come out and address it, people are going to continue to make content about the situation. Again, as someone who has been hated for their orientation, I'm speaking for the group as a whole. We can keep blocking people and dodging comments, or we can be a grown-up and talk about these things head on. The ball is in your court. Just please be honest. You have hurt so many, and silencing the majority will not fly. Again, if you have those beliefs, don't hide behind them, own them. Your actions got you here. We will not let you continue to exploit the gay community for views and likes. If we are not welcome in your world, then make that known. Again, none of us are being mean. We just want an open door discussion. Removing our genuine questions and leaving up your followers hateful anti-gay comments is an atrocity. Have a good day. Thank you. So obviously, that went into Lauren's email, and she had the option to delete the email or not respond to it or whatever, but instead she filed a cease and desist that was indeed filled with threats of jail time and fines of $250,000. I'll show you. So this is the beginning of the cease and desist. I find it very interesting that Jeanette calls herself a federal civil attorney when she is in fact an IP attorney. But these are all the things that she was accused of for simply this email. Again, this person has not ever talked about Lauren publicly or posted publicly about her. They went through each individual law that was broken by sending this email, which was harassment and stalking, and she was threatened with up to 5 years in prison and a fine of $250,000. She was also demanded to make a public apology to Lauren, recanting all the false information and overall false narrative that you have posted and organized others to post.
Again, this person has never posted about Lauren. Jeanette then said, you have 72 hours from the date of this email to comply with the demands above, answer the questions asked, and issue your public apology. My client expects immediate and unequivocal compliance. The ball has been directly placed back in your court. I recommend you take the ball to a few different types of attorneys' offices and seek legal counsel. And then she basically ends it with saying, unless this person complies with all of these demands, they will seek to charge them with all of the charges listed above.
Lauren lied again. Remember, she said this.
My lawyer never once said that they would be facing jail time over not giving me a public apology. That is a false narrative being spread.
Now, I know I've already concreted and shown Lauren to be a liar, but somehow it gets worse. While all this is going on, it appears that her and her lawyer coordinated a fake wellness check on Kitty.
A sizable content creator on this app has apparently hired an attorney to threaten me with all manner of legal actions, and I need to come on here and set the record straight because it's not only a problem online, but it has crossed over into my real life. Because seriously, this attorney sent the police to my front door in a wellness check. But I take that to be a very clear threat of doxing. But the thing is that I am a villain life coach, so that's certainly the first problem for them. That I'm going to be true to myself and my brand by giving them a very similar energy back in response to this ridiculous situation that they've created.
So the reason for this wellness check, according to Lauren and her attorney, was that they were both in fear for this person's life, which in and of itself is the same energy as sending a cease and desist to a random emailer. And the reason for the wellness check, they said, was because Kitty said that she was eating blood and organs. What? Which Kitty's TikTok is, of course, satirical. And besides that, what normal person hears that from an obviously exaggerated and sarcastic voice and thinks that it's real? Well, apparently these two. A quick search of Kitty's brand in Google shows that she runs a satirical page. Let's just go ahead and copy that. We'll paste it here. Villain Life Coach, as above, so below. And as you can see here, the first article that pops up from Yahoo Finance, it literally talks about how she handles dudes being creepy in a sarcastic and exaggerated way, saying things like, it goes to show that if you can creep them out, they'll leave you alone. And in one video, a man asks if he can get Kitty's number, to which she replies, you don't want to give me your number because anyone who's in my phone gets contacted by organ harvesters. He asks what that is, and she says, it's people who take your organs and sell them. He quickly says never mind and walks away. On another day, a delivery guy who was at least 10 years older than her asked if they went to the same high school. As she begins walking away, he yells to ask if she has a boyfriend. Her response is not one that's alive anymore. Another guy asking if they could hang out, to which she says people don't like to hang out with me because I like to dig up dead things and carve them up. Now, I'm going out on a limb here and saying that none of these dudes called in a wellness check on Kitty. So the lawyer calls in a wellness check, and then right after, Lauren calls in a wellness check. Now, it's obvious that they didn't know that these calls are public information and that they would come out. And what they said on TikTok and what they said in the calls, well, they're different. Let's look at TikTok first.
The concerns came from watching lives and the posts that kept happening in the comments. She talks about needing to ingest blood to survive. She talks about eating organs. She talks about doing demonic things. It's concerning. It was concerning. I do not think that anybody in their right and reasonable frame of mind would be making that type of content and continuing this spiral.
Okay.
Hi, I was calling. I was calling to ask for a wellness check on someone.
Okay, what's the address?
It is.
And what's your name?
I'd like to remain anonymous if I could. I know that's awkward, but this girl is just spiraling.
Okay.
The dispatcher's like, okay, because normally when you call in a wellness check, it's a serious concern and you don't giggle about it.
Okay. You're going to have to give me something. What's a relationship?
So she has a presence online, and she is blackmailing people online. She is threatening people. She's on Reddit. She's on TikTok. She's acting erratically. Her comments online are wild. I think this girl is literally, her name is
Do you have her date of birth?
I don't, but I know she was born in February. I don't know the day.
This dispatcher is obviously trying to find any validation that this is a legitimate call, but they ask if she knows the person or if the person even said anything about harming themselves, to which the answer was no.
Okay, and what has she been doing online?
She is leaving comments, threatening people, blackmailing people. She's on Reddit, trying to gather people together to go after people. She's
are
just
these
acting.
people you or someone you know?
No, somebody I know online.
Okay.
Yeah, she's acting irrational, erratic, and honestly, I just wonder if her mental health is okay. Like, so she isn't going to harm herself or other people, because this.
Did she mention anything about harming herself?
No.
Okay.
But at this, I mean, this is just not like her normal stuff at all, to be posting.
So you actually know her?
From online.
Okay, but you don't know her personally, you just know her online.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And you don't want to leave your name?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now notice she did not say this.
Talks about needing to ingest blood to survive. She talks about eating organs. She talks about doing demonic things.
Janet's call is even worse, and it really shows the true intention. And make note of the similar things that they're saying.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Baran. I'm an attorney, a federal attorney out of Illinois, and I'm actually calling in a wellness check for... She's acting irrational and posting really wild things online. It really looks like she's having a mental crisis and needs some help. I'm wondering if you would go do a wellness check on her and make sure she hasn't harmed herself, or
I need an address.
Do something more. Sure, the address is, I have it. Coming now. I have to pull it up.
And what's her name?
Her name is...
Is she black, white, or Hispanic?
White with short...
Do you have a date of birth on her?
It is February... She's 12 years old. It's February... I don't know the date. Whatever is a good one. 19...
And what exactly is she posting?
She is posting on her TikTok under Caffeinated Kitty, CAFFINATED KITTI, and her Reddit account.
I just need to know what she's posting. I don't need the usernames.
She's blackmailing people. She is going. She's extremely irrational. Posting content to threaten others. Looks like almost extortion. I received an email from her on Saturday that was full of blackmail and extortion, and I'm going to submit that to the FBI, but now she's posting online. And she really seems to be having a mental crisis.
Is this a relative of yours, or?
No, not a relative.
What's your name?
Jeanette, JEANETTE. And my last name is Braun, BRAUN. And I'm an Illinois barred attorney. I think I have an obligation to report when I see erratic behavior as an officer of the court, and this is extremely erratic.
All right, we'll get someone out there to check on her.
Let me get you her apartment number. I have it. I gotta pull it up. I don't have the apartment number. She's on the floor. She was born in February.
Okay.
But she's on the floor of the apartment building. Short purple hair, thin, white, and I think she really needs some help.
Okay, we'll get someone out there to check on her.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good Sunday.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Did you notice that they said the same reasons on the call? In my opinion, these two people are trying to call you stupid. They want you to believe that they randomly decided to call 2 wellness checks in at the same time and say the same thing. And it has nothing to do with Kitty exposing things about them that they don't want people to know. To me, it's pretty straightforward, and if it's proven in a court of law that these two orchestrated this, and you can download my video, post it on TikTok or YouTube, I give you permission, then they've broken a law. They'll risk jail time, and Janet could lose her license to practice law. Here's lawyer Mad Catster on YouTube explaining.
Based on, certainly on Jeanette Braun's call, they did actually send someone out. Of course, they determined there was absolutely no reason for it. And this was a waste of not only police resources, but tying up 911 dispatchers when there potentially could be a call that's an actual emergency that they could be taking to help somebody truly in distress is actually against Georgia law. And I'm going to show you the statute here that I believe that if these calls are found to have been bogus, and you can be the judge, that they broke this particular law in Georgia. So you can see here, Georgia Code Title 16, Crimes and Offenses, Section 16-11-39.2, and they define certain things that a false report means the fabrication of an incident or crime or of material information relating to an incident or crime which the person making the report knows to be false at the time of making the report. Harass means to knowingly and willingly engage in any conduct directed toward a communications officer that is likely to impede or interfere with such communication officer's duties. So I think that these calls might qualify for that. It's obviously up to law enforcement to decide that, but they're calling knowing that what the information that they're giving is not really grounds for the wellness check they're requesting, and it's interfering with the officer's duties because it's tying them up unnecessarily.
It's also this lawyer's opinion that Lauren's attorney, Janet, committed unethical acts, and he reported her to the bar.
Rule 8.4, misconduct. And it says, it is professional misconduct for a lawyer to A, violate or attempt to violate the rules of professional conduct, knowingly assist or induce another to do so. So that's important because if Attorney Braun was responsible for instigating Lauren to make her separate 911 call, if they are determined to be false, that could also get her into trouble because she's put Lauren up to making a false report. Or do so through the acts of another. So you don't even have to directly break this rule. If somebody else does something at your behest that's a violation of this, you could still be held responsible because they're doing it on your behalf. B, commit a criminal act that reflects adversely on the lawyer's honesty, trustworthiness, or fitness as a lawyer in other respects. Now, if those 911 calls are determined to be false, that's a violation of Georgia law. That's a criminal act that violates this rule, 8.4, misconduct of the rules of professional conduct. That can get Attorney Braun in deep doo-doo with the disciplinary people. And C, engage in conduct involving dishonesty, fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation. So, in my opinion, as an attorney, I think that she's violated this rule. And it's not for me to decide. It's for the Illinois Supreme Court to decide that, and for anyone that investigates her to decide that, whether or not A, the calls down in Georgia were false, and B, whether that constitutes a violation of the rules of professional conduct in Illinois. In my opinion, I think it is. But again, it's not my decision to make. Now I'm going to show you what one of these reports looks like to the bar. And to quote Janet, as an officer of the court, I feel it's my duty to inform the disciplinary commission or committee of misconduct by another attorney. I believe that I'm obligated to do that as an officer of the court, Attorney Braun.
Currently at this time, Janet, the lawyer, is going around submitting strikes on videos that talk about everything that's going on. This video could be striked itself, so download it pretty quickly. In my opinion, it's a clear attempt to weaponize the legal system and platform policies, and it goes a long way to note that most of these strikes have been found to be false.
To lawyer up and handle what I consider to be bad faith copyright infringement strikes that cost me an entire monetized platform on Meta. By the way, just a side update to that, I've actually emailed the IP team and they have said that the content is restored and not problematic, but I'm still...
She said that I infringed like
two times on Dumb Blonde Productions LLC, which is Bunny XO.
And this is Becca saying she's got hit with a second strike and Jamie's account was banned for false copyright strikes. And this doesn't count strikes on other platforms, even Reddit. There's even a video of Janet admitting of 94 strikes on Instagram.
From January 1st, 2023 until today, we have submitted a total of 94 takedowns for all clients.
And again, that's just on Instagram, which is insane. But this story is about to get even crazier because over on YouTube, creators started exposing what was going on. The Do We Know Them podcast, hosted by Jesse Smiles and Lily Marston, well, they started talking about the alleged mistreatment by the hands of Janet to creators. I mean, just look at how many strikes they found.
She copyright struck Cody, that girl that we talked about, so much on Instagram that she got her page taken down. I don't know if it's temporary or what, but it's currently down, and that's fucking insane.
Just wanted to chime in and add a little more context here because oh my God, you guys. Not only did Janet submit the copyright strikes on behalf of Bunny XO, because Cody had apparently posted clips from Bunny's podcast that Kelsey was a guest on because they were talking about her. Yeah, well, not only did she copyright strike those and countless other things on her Instagram, but also on behalf of Kelsey, Janet submitted a copyright strike for this. If you're listening, what I'm referring to is something that Cody posted that is literally text on a black screen that says, if anyone knows a lawyer specializing in tort litigation in Tennessee, please email me. And then she puts her email and says, thank you. And next to it, I have the copyright notice where it says that it came from Jeanette and Kelsey. This is absurd. And I know that Janet is all about like protecting art, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this screenshot that I'm showing doesn't qualify as art. No offense, Cody. The text is lovely.
So Janet is striking creators on behalf of creators she's representing, like Lauren the Mortician. In this case, it was on behalf of a guest named Kelsey who was on the Bunny XO podcast. I'm unsure even to the extent that these creators know Janet is using them to put strikes on other people. And I say that because of the conversation that I see here between CC Cerez, who's another YouTuber, and Bunny XO. Bunny is another YouTuber, and she's also got a podcast called Bunny XO. And she's also the wife of musician Jelly Roll. Bunny commented on CC's video saying this: "Why is my name being brought into this? Laughing face emoji. I've never tried to have any of your videos taken down, girly. Take care." CC says, "Babe, is Jeanette going rogue? Please talk to your lawyer. She's been fighting with YouTube for the last week, saying you are going to sue me and YouTube Google for copyright infringement when my content is protected under fair use." And then something weird happens. CC continues saying, "Girl, you DM'd me on TikTok at 1 a.m. saying that you DM'd me on Instagram, then blocked me on both TikTok and IG. What are you doing?" Laughing face emoji. Bunny says, "You insult me in your TikTok post, then expect me to want to have a conversation? I saw this first video, then the other one. I'll unblock you to give you my number." Bunny says that she's got nothing to do with her lawyer Janet striking videos. I don't know if I believe that, since Janet doesn't even believe that she's striking videos.
It's impossible for me to submit a false copyright strike because I cannot strike anything. The platform makes the strike.
Did you see the face I made? It was literally like... The craziest thing about this is the hashtags that she has in her video. Knowledge is power. Know your rights. See, false copyrights happen when the reported content is actually protected under fair use or other legal exceptions, or when the claimant does not have proper ownership of the content.
Fair use is a legal doctrine that allows the use of copyrighted material under certain circumstances without obtaining permission from or paying royalties to the copyright owner. This doctrine is particularly relevant for content creators on platforms like YouTube, where users may incorporate copyrighted material into their videos for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, education, and parody.
So you can't take down videos if people are criticizing you, but these people think that you can.
Every day, like clockwork, you all are making new videos about me. There's some new information that I didn't even know about myself that now all of a sudden is getting spread through the internet. I am literally being stalked. I am being watched. Everything I do. If you are going to take my images to further your social media career with lies, then I have the right to come after that content and get it taken down.
If that sounded familiar, you'd be right. Another large creator who said that people posting videos criticizing her was stalking and harassment was Sniper Wolf. I made a video about this. You should check it out after this one. Now this is what Sniper Wolf said. Aaliyah says, this creep has been harassing me for months and then plays victim, saying I threatened him when I just wanted to talk to him. I have no ill intentions. It's so sad when people have to constantly create drama to pay their bills. The harassing you claim I've been doing is documenting recent examples of you stealing creators' content, stealing jokes, and failing to provide transformative commentary. And that is an absolute wild accusation by Aaliyah, as Jack's been doing commentary videos criticizing what she's actually doing. Just like the commentary video that I'm doing right now criticizing her.
This guy's entire channel is just me. Every single video for the past few months has been about me. And it's just like shitting on me. And then his streams, this dude is just like low-key harassing me. Like, should I get a restraining order?
And again, we already know the backstory as to why Jack was making so many videos. He was calling her out and criticizing for her stealing other creators' content. He did a parody account even where he would mock her doing this, and then while also simultaneously giving credit to the people that she was not. And as you can see, this video here is no different. I'm giving criticisms to Lauren the Mortician and her lawyer, Janet. See, Janet, here on YouTube, we respond to each other. We don't silence each other, because that would be a good way for a creator to ruin their reputation and career. And Janet, even if you won in a court of law, the reputation of any creator that you represent would not be anything that anyone would want to support, as they're painfully finding out. I mean, how many new clients do you think you're going to get after that? While we're talking about similarities, there was another creator who weaponized wellness checks. You might have heard of her. This was Illuminati, and if you guys want to, you can watch the video I did on her for context after this video. Honestly, I'm surprised that Janet wasn't her lawyer. By the way, Janet, Illuminati destroyed her career. There was an update while I was making this video, and apparently people are already starting to fire Jeanette for these types of things that she's doing. But it's a little tricky, and it has to do with Bunny XO. Apparently, her and her crew were part of this false striking campaign. The YouTuber CC Cerez goes into this deeper, and I am going to put her video explaining the situation in depth below in the description. But CC exposes text messages where it looks like Bunny is trying to intimidate Becca.
Bunny texted her and said, Becca, you are really showing your character. I have told you nothing but the truth. I have zero reason to lie, but what you aren't going to do is keep using my name to fuel the fire online for your agenda. Especially when you were telling half-truths. I unfollowed you because you blatantly lied in the video I asked you to make. If this continues, I will take legal action. That's not a threat. That's me coming to you as a woman who has a brand to protect and refuses to let you keep lying and harassing me. That's not harassment. What is your attorney's info? I'm hiring counsel to address this from here on out. You're hiring counsel. Let's hope it's not Janet.
So again, we have the Sniper Wolf logic here where people think that they cannot be criticized online, and so then they resort to intimidation tactics because they don't like what somebody is saying about them, which is not correct rhetoric.
Day responded back to Bunny and said, Kelsey went on live today and said she would happily take anyone's content down, talking poorly of her. She said she had the resources and she'd do it again. She commented on your video saying, thank you for teaching me your ways, and you responded back positively. You reposted Lauren's video that paints Kitty in a disgusting light and is filled with provable lies. I do not understand women who move like this. We are calling out something illegal that is taking place on this app, and multiple creators, you, Kelsey, Gabby, have all admitted to being a part of false copyright strikes. That is true. He's reaching out to me, advising me on how to report this to the proper government agencies. Bunny, if my lawyer or manager was filing false copyright strikes in my name illegally with someone who I had an issue with on the internet, I would make it known. I would make a statement, but none of you guys have done that. Instead, it has been a consistent double down. You guys are mad at me for calling out something illegal happening on the internet that you are involved in. Your anger is misdirected.
So the interesting thing about this situation is you see the doubling down from Bunny XO and her associates here. But it switches up as she does fire Janet, as she says in a message here, and then starts saying in the comments to people who are saying, hey, your lawyer is doing some really shady things here. She starts saying, oh no, it's not my problem, I fired her. So it went from doubling down to... A user says to Bunny, I adore your content, girl, and you inspire me. but I can still see that your lawyer is going a little ham right now for all the wrong reasons. I don't think she knows how the copyright system works. I'm praying for you. And Bunny says, like I've said, I have nothing to do with that, and she is no longer my lawyer. Again, in response to another criticism that's on her, not on me, she was fired over this. That in itself doesn't seem like a very genuine move here. Cece says,
now, I personally just think that's so interesting that, like, yeah, she is saying it in replies, but she wants to, distance herself, not be involved in things. Why not, like, make a statement? I mean, it doesn't have to be like a serious, press release or like a formal statement. You could literally just go on your Instagram story or your community tab or things like that and just say, like, hey, this person's not my lawyer anymore. I don't want to be associated with them.
Seeing as a lot of these strikes were within Bunny's name and some of Bunny's associates, I wonder how that's going to affect the ongoing lawsuits, actually. I'd be interested to know. Stay tuned. It looks like it's far from over. Okay, so if you thought it couldn't get any worse, you'd be wrong. Remember the Do We Know Them podcast exposing Lauren and her lawyer? Well, Janet attempted to strike down their entire channel, but made so many mistakes. It's very clear she's in over her head.
This is bigger than even our channel. Like, this kind of abuse of copyright systems on this platform is a danger to all creators on this platform. And so we're going to talk about what we're going through right now, and then also talk about maybe ways that you guys can help us out in getting, the attention of YouTube or other creators who will be willing to talk about this. We discussed her on this channel for a very specific reason. And that reason was because we believed she was abusing copyright systems on TikTok and Instagram, and also simultaneously harassing smaller creators, in our opinion, with legalese and cease and desist and things meant to scare them into not speaking about her or her clients. Okay, that is her main shtick. If you say something bad about her or her clients and you accompany that commentary with any screenshot of anything that has her or her clients in it, even though that's fair use and completely allowed by the law, she will take that down. She will abuse these systems in place to silence you.
And they are correct. Ever since the H3H3 fair use victory in 2017, YouTube has been a usually comfortable space for fair use. Now, TikTokers apparently haven't caught up, since this video is pretty in-depth and it shows everything. So that's why I've also given you guys permission to download it and distribute it if you want.
We are 2 strikes in right now. We have been struck twice by Janet.
3 times technically, but only 2 were successful.
Exactly. Yeah. So the first one that we got a strike on was the first video we talked about her in, and she struck us for a 1-minute TikTok. And in the TikTok, she is literally reading the terms and services of TikTok on her TikTok. So it was a TikTok of hers.
Yeah, she's not in the video. I would like to clarify.
It's her voice.
It is a screen recording of the TikTok terms and services with her voice on top. Do you want to know, though, what she considers that TikTok to be?
Art.
So Janet believes that anything in a video is considered art, but what she doesn't take into consideration is journalistic integrity, being the fact that if something is of public interest and she has inserted herself as a public figure, then the public wants to know about it. And then when people criticize or talk about it, it's completely 100% fair use. And a lot of times the timestamps that she provides in her strikes, well, it's not even her content.
The exact timestamp that she provided was 22 minutes and 40 seconds to 1 hour, 24 minutes and 8 seconds.
The entire video that we pulled from, which we did only pull 20 seconds from. But even if we used her entire TikTok,
which we didn't.
We used 20 seconds of it because we obviously couldn't bear to listen to the entire thing. The entire thing, the whole runtime was 8 minutes and 43 seconds, I believe. So please, YouTube, explain to me how her time code for how long we used it is 1 hour and 2 minutes.
That's almost the entire episode.
Did we just replay it over and over again? Do you really think anyone would have watched that? Oh my God.
If you don't understand what Lily means, she literally has to paste a link where YouTube asks, it appears in your source video, and then it has like a blank space for you to put a link. So Jeanette puts a link to her TikTok, and that's what Lily is saying is 8 minutes, a little bit over 8 minutes long. But what she flagged was over 1 hour long.
So she's saying that we used her video in our video, that we had it playing for over 1 hour.
So obviously throughout that whole hour, there was their commentary and other topics that they talked about. So she was effectively claiming their commentary. And this is the exact same thing she did to another YouTuber named Paige Christie.
Oh, so she is claiming my commentary as well. So at this point, we are at 14 minutes and 56 seconds. If you guys remember, it was 15 minutes and some seconds after. So she's also not just claiming what it is that she's saying in this video, she's also claiming my commentary.
Also, again, Janet was striking on the behalf of other creators.
Imagine our surprise when we see that the content owner for not one of these strikes, but both of them, is Caitlin Demps. Who's Caitlin Demps, might you ask? I mean, honestly, a few days ago, we didn't know either. Apparently, first of all, that person's name, that's not a real person. Her real full name is Caitlin Dempsey. Demps is her nickname that she goes by, and that is one of Jeanette's clients. We mentioned so briefly by name, we verbally mentioned Demps, and we discussed because someone had sent us an email about her, but then honestly, we got distracted because there was so much other stuff going on that we didn't even really dive into that aspect of the conversation. So we literally said the word Demps maybe 3 times in, it's like 30 seconds. Without a shadow of doubt, we do not show any of this person's content. Already, that's absurd to think that that would even have a connection as to why she would be the content owner of this, because we didn't feature any of it. But even more absurd is that it lists her as the content owner for the first one in an episode where at the time we had never even heard of this person.
We didn't mention her in the first one. We only mentioned her in the second one.
So there's a possibility that some of these creators don't even know that their lawyer is ruining their reputations. To make it look even worse, most of these strikes are found to be false by YouTube.
We received a takedown request for your video listed below that we've determined is invalid. As a result, we've reinstated your video, and the associated copyright strike was resolved.
We received the copyright infringement notification below regarding your videos. We believe your content is protected by fair use and fair dealing or a similar exception to copyright protection.
See, the YouTube copyright system looks at these cases individually, and the TikTok copyright system is completely broken, leading to many creators to lose videos and a lot of times their accounts. And it's unfortunate. And I'm actually unsure at this point how many people have lost their accounts, but if you're one of these people that's been affected by Jeanette or one of the creators that she represents, I'd like to hear your story in the comment section below, as I feel like this video is going to be a HUD for a lot of legal information. We need to hear exactly how long this has been going on and all the details. And make no mistake about it, Janet means to deplatform creators. She likely didn't know the correspondences that she was going to have between her and YouTube were going to be public information, much like the 911 calls she exposed herself.
Like, we didn't know she was actually wanting our channel to end, but rest assured, we got confirmation when we got this correspondence that she had with YouTube, where she was demanding that YouTube hold all of our wages, all of them, all funds that we make, not just the ones on the video that she claimed, all of them, because she intended to garnish our wages when and if she won the legal proceedings. And then she also told them that they needed to put a litigation hold on our entire account and stop us from publishing.
No further uploads.
No videos. No videos, not just about her, about anything. We are not allowed to upload.
And I'd also like to point out that, again, this was something she was ordering them to do.
YouTube also sent the entire correspondence between Paige Christie, them, and Janet. And I'm not joking when I say this. Janet compares commentary videos to murder. That's a step above Sniper Wolf claiming commentary videos criticizing her of stalking. It's wild.
I'm literally not I promise you, as God is my witness, that I am not exaggerating. This is exactly what she said. So let's have a look. Dear YouTube, please share how you have the authority to determine whether the use of my work is fair or not. Only judiciaries can determine if it is fair use, much like claiming self-defense in a murder case. And she was dead ass too. She was dead ass. Really, girl? Really? Really? You don't think that that's a bit much? So she said, in a murder case, where the person admits to murdering the person but claims that it's not unlawful, the same holds true for fair use. The infringer admits to the infringement.
And the funny part about this is YouTube responds to Jeanette saying, no, you're wrong. Like, you need to learn what copyright fair use is, which is the greatest response.
They said, hello. Thank you for your request. We remain concerned that your copyright removal request isn't valid for some or all of the videos identified in your notice. As a result, the content will remain live on YouTube. To learn more about copyright, go to YouTube's Copyright Center.
This is very ironic because she likes to inform people on how knowledgeable she is in fair use laws in a way that some people call condescending.
We're assuming that Becca understands what false copyright strike means in the legal sense, but I understand a bunch of you probably do not have any idea what that means.
If you thought that it couldn't get any worse, you're not going to believe this. It gets worse. When YouTube wouldn't bow down like TikTok and decided that fair use matters, Janet decided that she was going to sue everyone who was talking about her in federal court.
And we are being sued by not only Jeanette Braun of Braun IP Law, we are being sued by Lauren the Mortician. It is a joint lawsuit.
Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun have sued me, Kitty, Lily, and Jesse for defamation in federal court. We are of the belief that this is a frivolous lawsuit.
A sizable content creator on this app, Lauren the Mortician, and her attorney, Jeanette Braun, have decided to go ahead and, try to sue for defamation, but suing 4 different content creators all in one get-go and suing them together. One of these 4 content creators is myself.
So this is a big deal for every creator on the platform because of the fair use implications. I'd say the biggest since H3H3 won their fair use lawsuit. See, this can affect the YouTube ecosystem and be referred back to in a good or a bad way, depending on the result. So if you value free speech and would like to help these people in the legal fees of their case, I'm going to link the GoFundMe below. It's already over 30K, which is great, but lawsuits like this can get up to around $70,000 depending on what happens. So again, only help if you can. This video was a lot, and I want to thank a few creators that I wouldn't have been able to make this video if it wasn't for the content that they posted. Jamie Grayson, Becca Day, Caffeinated Kitty, the pediatrician Petty Pals on TikTok, the YouTuber Marky, YouTube lawyer Mad Catster, the Do We Know Them podcast Jesse and Lily, and Paige Christie. I'm going to be watching this topic closely, as I hope you will too, and I'll be doing updates, so make sure you're subscribed. With notifications turned on, we're getting close to 300,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed and become a member of the Rep Squad, it's a pretty decent time to do that. Let me know if you're a new subscriber in the comment section below. And that being said, and as interesting as this video is, there's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go ahead and leave your creative or interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up, those likes, as always, brothers and sisters. I will see you in the next video. I'm going to make this outro quick. Thank you to my patrons for your continued and ongoing support. If you want to support what I do here on this channel, then you can become a patron. I'll put the link in the pinned comment. That's how you get your name at the end of my videos. Also, this year, I'm going to be working on my Instagram. I'm going to be posting a lot more pictures over there, so I'd appreciate it if you followed that. I'm going to leave my DMs open over there so you can suggest me topics, or if you have anything to say to me, just give me a few days and I'll get back to you. I'll put it in the pinned comment as well. And that being said, that's just another way to show that you're repping. And if you're not repping, you're Gregging. And how you do that, all you do is subscribe, notifications, be in the comment section after every single video, because I'm going to be there. Greg the Cat's going to be there, Spirit, and the rest of the Rep Squad community as well. And I expect to see you there too, because this channel loves you. TikTok sucks, man.